Welcome to Dreamland Stories, the place where fairy tales come to life. On our channel, you will find the most beautiful animated stories for children. Don't forget to click the bell. Have a great time watching.
The Lying Fly. In a small farm on the edge of a village, there lived a lying fly. As you might guess, she was known for her love of making up stories that often misled others. Every day, she invented new tales to get attention. One morning, as the sun was just beginning to rise over the horizon, the lying fly was flying over a forest stream. The light flickered on the dewdrops. In the distance, she saw Ladybug Berta, who was peacefully collecting dew from the leaves to quench her thirst. The fly landed next to her on a large, juicy leaf. "Berta, did you see that?" the fly exclaimed, trying to sound as dramatic as possible. "Yesterday, I met a giant lizard in the forest. It was as huge as a tree." Ladybug Berta, naturally skeptical of the fly's tales, raised one eyebrow and looked at her carefully. "Really? I've never heard of lizards in our forest." "I need to be careful," she responded, looking around with concern. Seeing that her story had the desired effect, the fly continued with enthusiasm. "Yes, Berta. It was covered in scales, and its eyes glowed in the dark. I flew away before it could catch me." Although still not entirely convinced, Ladybug Berta felt a shiver of fear. "I must tell others to be cautious too," she murmured, wondering if this story was just another of the fly's fabrications. A few days later, the lying fly was flying over an anthill, watching the busy ants running back and forth, carrying supplies to their underground kingdom. Among them was Worker Ant, known for her diligence and dedication. The fly landed beside her, waiting for the ant to have a moment to listen. "Worker, yesterday I discovered a huge stash of honey in an abandoned hollow," the fly exclaimed, with a sparkle in her eye. "Whole big chambers full of sweet, golden honey." Worker Ant, always looking for new food sources for her anthill, was immediately interested. "Really? I must get it. This will help us survive the winter," she said, wasting no time. "Where was it? Tell me the exact place." Enjoying her brief success, the fly gave her an imaginary location, knowing that Worker Ant would search in vain. The ant immediately set off, leading a group of other ants. They spent the whole day searching the forest for honey but, of course, found nothing. Tired and disappointed, they returned to the anthill. Worker Ant, though very tired, began to wonder if the fly had made up the whole story again. Maybe it was just another of her lies, she thought, feeling disappointed and irritated. Another day, when the sky was cloudless and the sun shone brightly, the lying fly met Snailman, who was slowly moving over the damp moss. Snailman, as usual, was in no hurry and enjoyed the peaceful day. The fly landed on a small stone next to him. "Mr. Snailman, a big storm is coming. You must hide in your shell," she said seriously, pretending to see the first signs of an approaching disaster. Snailman looked at her in surprise. "Really? But the sky is completely clear." The fly nodded, trying to look convinced. "It's just an illusion. I saw clouds gathering behind the hills. It will be the biggest storm we've ever seen." Mr. Snailman, naturally cautious, decided to trust the fly's warning. He hid deep in his shell, preparing for the worst. He stayed there all day, even though the sky remained clear, and the forest enjoyed beautiful weather. In the evening, when the fly flew by, she saw Snailman still hidden in his shell. "Mr. Snailman, are you still there?" "The storm has long passed," she joked, laughing quietly. Snailman slowly emerged from his shell, confused and angry. There was no storm. "You tricked me again," he shouted with irritation. "Why do you keep lying, lying fly?" The fly just shrugged, not realizing the consequences of her actions. She was convinced that her stories were harmless and only added a bit of drama to her friends' daily lives. One afternoon, the lying fly met a group of meadow residents resting in the shade of an old oak tree. Among them were Ladybug Berta, worker ant, and Snailman. They were all resting after a hard day's work and talking about their daily activities. The fly landed on a branch above them, ready to tell another of her incredible stories. "Yesterday, I bathed in broth," she began enthusiastically. Everyone present looked at her in disbelief. "Lying fly, that's impossible." "Who would let you bathe in broth?" asked Berta, frowning. "It's true," the fly protested, stretching her wings as if to add credibility to her story. "People were cooking a huge pot of broth, and I accidentally fell in. The water was hot, but I managed to get out." Worker ant burst out laughing. "What else?" "Maybe you danced on the table," she joked, unable to believe another of the fly's amazing stories. The lying fly was not about to give up. "Yes. That's exactly what happened. After bathing in the broth, I danced on the table. To dry my wings, I started dancing and flapping them." All the insects burst into laughter. "Dancing on the table? You have quite an imagination, lying fly," said Snailman, shaking his head in disbelief. No one believed her words, though this time she was telling the truth. The fly felt disappointed that her friends didn't believe her adventures, but she was too proud to admit she was telling the truth. One day, when the forest was full of life, and everyone was busy with their daily tasks, real danger appeared nearby, a large predatory bird that had come from distant lands in search of food. The lying fly, flying over the meadow, saw it first. Her heart beat faster when she saw the bird circling over the forest, looking for its prey. The fly immediately flew to her friends, who were scattered throughout the forest. "Attention, attention! There is a predatory bird flying nearby. You need to hide," she shouted everywhere, trying to warn everyone of the impending danger. Unfortunately, her friends, used to her lies, ignored the warnings. "Is this another one of your stories, lying fly?" "We don't believe you," Ladybug Berta replied, waving her wings dismissively. "Really, Berta? This time I'm telling the truth," the fly pleaded, seeing that no one was listening. When the bird indeed attacked, chaos and fear spread in the forest. The insects scattered in all directions, trying to hide from the fierce predator. Fortunately, the situation ended happily. The bird flew away, and the insects could come out of their hiding places. After this incident, Spider-Man, known for his wisdom and calm approach to problems, organized a meeting of all the insects. Spider-Man had beautiful, intricately woven webs that shone in the sunlight, and his calm demeanor always commanded respect. He invited the lying fly to explain her behavior to everyone. "Lying fly, why do you keep lying? Your stories make us unable to trust you," Spider-Man said calmly, looking at the fly with his wise eyes. The fly lowered her head, feeling ashamed. "I'm sorry. I lied because I wanted you to like me and pay attention to me," she admitted honestly, her voice trembling with emotion. Spider-Man explained to her, and everyone gathered how important truth and trust are. "Truth is the foundation of our community. Without trust, we cannot cooperate and help each other," he said seriously, and his words echoed in the hearts of all the insects. The lying fly understood that her lies had caused a lot of harm and decided to change her behavior. From that day on, she tried to be honest and sincere. Her friends were initially wary, but over time they began to trust her again. One day, the fly approached Ladybug Berta, who was working in her garden. "Berta, I'm sorry for all the lies. I promise that from now on, I will only tell the truth," she said sincerely, looking her straight in the eyes. Berta smiled warmly at her. "I'm glad, lying fly. Truth is important, and we are here to support each other," she replied, placing her wing on the fly's shoulder. All the forest residents learned how important it is to be honest. The forest once again became a place full of trust and friendship. From then on, no one called the fly lying fly anymore. Everyone understood that truth and sincerity are the foundations of true friendship.
Thank you for watching the story. Don't forget to like the video.